What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris M. Walker. I'm the CEO of legit.com and Superstar SEO. Now, if you're watching this on the replay, you're going to want to go ahead and jump ahead to about the 10-minute mark, because in a second, we're going to do some giveaways and some interactive stuff that's not going to be very interesting or make a lot of sense to you if you are watching this and anytime other than May 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern. So go ahead and do that. But before you do, let me ask you this question. What the hell's wrong with you? Why would you not make a point to show up here live and get the chance to win some contest and talk to our guest and ask some questions? So to make sure that doesn't happen again, what you need to do is go ahead and click the notification button and the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out in the future. Now, before I continue on, can somebody that's watching let me know how the sound and the picture quality is, please? There's not a ton of people on yet, but if anybody's on, let me know how the sound and picture is so I know I'm not talking to myself, because that would be embarrassing, and I definitely don't want to do that. So please go ahead and let me know how that quality is. MD says all good. Wi-Fi payday says great. Excellent. So we'll get started. Okay, and now some people are starting to come in and to let us know that everything is peachy. So let me go ahead and get some other things set up here, and we will do our giveaway, and then we'll get into it with today's guest. So let's do this and this. All right, I'm going to share my screen. There's not a lot of folks on today, so you have a pretty good chance of being a winner. All right. You should now see on your screen, in addition to the two handsome gentlemen that are going to be talking to you today, you'll see the Legit merch store that is located at shop.legit.com. That's where we have our merch. Otherwise, calling it a merch store would be misleading. And what we're going to do in a second is do a giveaway to one lucky person who will win the piece of Legit merchandise of their choice. It can be a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a backpack, the golf ball that nobody ever chooses, the mouse pad, and lots of other great stuff. So what I'm going to do now is come over here and choose today's live stream. And what I'm going to ask you to do is type in the word partner into the chat or into the comments wherever you're watching. And then for about 5 minutes, I'm going to let that go. And then the software is going to choose a winner. So type the word partner wherever you're watching this, and we will choose a winner in just a couple of minutes. And while that's going on, I will go ahead and try to drum up some more interest. Not interest, but let some more people know that we're here. Oh, for fuck's sake. Facebook really screwed me on this because they changed the way that you can't share to groups anymore. You can't stream to groups anymore because the software uses an API that they shut off access to, which is irritating. So let me see. Let me see how I can go about this. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's do this. Lots of people saying, well, some people saying partner, trying to win that merchandise. So let me select all. Shit. All right. All right, let's go over to this one and get some people in there. We got about 2 minutes or so left, so get your, I don't guess this isn't the right word, but get your entries in. And let's go over here. Oh, I guess that's going to have to do. All right. And we're going to go till about 4:07, and then we're going to choose our winner, and then we will get into it as soon as we can, or as soon as that happens, or something. I lost my train of thought there for a second. Lots of folks saying partner really wants that merch. I should warn you that if you're a gentleman and you wear the merch and anywhere in public, you're going to be hounded like by the ladies, just like this guy was. They just cannot help themselves. So fair warning, Peter Duncan. That's absolutely not true, by the way. I wish it was. All right, we got less than a minute remaining. And then we will pick our winner. You got pretty good odds, especially those of you that are voting in two different places. Gaming the system. All right, now some folks starting to show up too, so that's good. Let's go over to X and retweet that too. See if that helps any. All right, and let's go ahead. No, still a few seconds left. And need some branded nasal strips. I took a trip last week and I was afraid to like keep them in my carry-on because they're called hostage tape, and I didn't want them to like see that on the airplane.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go ahead and pick our winner. You can stop saying partner now, please, for the love of God. And the winner is Buta Digital. Congratulations, Buta Digital. You are the winner of some legit merch. I believe that is well, I don't want to say and be wrong. I think I know who that is though. So if you what you're going to need to do is come over to shop.legit.com and pick out the piece of merch that you want, whether it's a t-shirt or a mouse pad or whatever. I don't even have this shirt. And then what you're going to do is go over to the legit main site, tell them what you want, tell them what you want. If it's a clothing item, tell them your size, and then tell them your mailing address, and they will get that right out to you. So let me go ahead and save that so they have it. And please stop saying partner now. And that's that. So, all right, let's try this. Let's get this party started. I'm joined today by Umar Mansha. Umar runs, is it Lazy Metrics?
Yes.
Lazy Metrics SEO agency, does a lot of white labeling, a lot of partnership deals, and I'm going to let him tell you his whole story. So, Umar, how's it going?
All right. Thank you, Chris, for having me. Yeah. So I've been doing SEO for the last 10, 11 years now, and I used to be a freelancer on Fiverr and Upwork and all sorts of other third-party platforms. And it used to suck, to be honest with you. Those platforms are not very best when you're starting out, but you get exploited a lot. But with time, I started to build my own affiliate websites on the side, and I had some success. I was able to flip some websites for six-figure range in dollars while I was in Pakistan. So that's a lot of money when you are a teenager. Like I was 18 or 19 years old at the time, and I was able to make that flip. And yeah, that was the first step that I started taking it like really, really seriously, and fully started to um, invest my time and energy into learning this professionally. And that was a time like I started to focus on building a company more than just me. And it took me a lot of years to figure out how to do that. And I started my agency in 2018, and we had some success in the starting few months, client success, and we were able to close some deals on monthly retainers at the time. And yeah, it was pretty good. We I started building my team and starting building operations side of things, so we could actually scale with time. And in 2021, we started offering white label services to agencies, which this was the first time I actually started considering other agencies as partners and not as competition, which is very common when you're starting out as an agency. Every other agency seems like a competition to you, and I used to feel the same. But I a lot of agency owner wanted me to help them with their operations. I wanted me to help them do the work while they bring in clients, and I never really thought of it as a good move initially, but eventually I started with a one partner and it worked out very, very well. I was he had tons of clients that he rolled over to us, and that was the actual way we started making real monthly retainers, or like build, having a one partner that has tons of clients instead of going after each and every client individually. So that was a first uh, that was first time that it was like an aha moment for me, that I need to be focusing more on strategic partnerships and collaboration, and less on relying on word of mouth. And as you know, running an agency, you are relying on word of mouth far more than you would like to. And that's when I started to focus on uh, reaching out to other agencies, and other agencies reaching out to me, agency owners, and looking to find ways, common grounds to work together. And that's how we are able to work with like 400 plus agencies since 2021. So yeah, it has been going really, really well. And yeah, that's I think that's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a great story. There's a couple of things I want to touch on there. So the first thing
Yeah.
is you said you sold a site for, I forget the number you said, but a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
What kind of site was that? Was like an affiliate site, and do you still do site flipping?
I am not focusing too much on site flipping because it has since 20. I was able to sell. It was an Amazon affiliate website. I used to do AdSense as well, but I wasn't able to make much money as compared to AdSense, as compared to Amazon affiliate model. And you remember like the days of 2014, 2015, 16, 17, the age where you could, if you are able to do some like get edu links, or if you're able to get like run a educational or high authority links, you are able to rank on like many competitive keywords. And I was able to rank few super competitive keywords, and that was website was making a lot of money. And I got a six-figure range in dollars, and an offer, and I flipped that website. And yeah, and I'm not focusing that too much because Amazon has cut down too much on commissions, and it has become, as Google has changed, Google, the algorithm has is completely different now, so it's super hard to like outrank the big behemoths that are out there, like CNET or TechNet, or all these big websites with millions of dollars in budgets. So it used to be easy a few years ago, but not anymore. So I'm not focusing too much on that, and we are mainly focusing on growing our agency and working with more clients.
So do you do with your agency now? Do you do strictly white label, or do you work directly with clients and do both, or how does that work?
We do both. We do have direct clients, but we mainly focus our, I would say 75% is revenue is coming from white labeling, and around 25 to 30% revenue is coming from direct B2B monthly retainers.
Excellent. So one of the trouble I find with white labeling is I assume that you're working with other agencies. Um, I found a lot of them have very unrealistic expectations with what they can get, and I found almost found them to be more difficult to deal with sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Has that been your experience, or do you?
For me, I think we
I don't want to get you in trouble with any of your clients if they're listening. I'm
no,
just. If you,
fine. It's fine. I haven't been able to like experience that myself too much because we have a very clear SOPs. We don't commit to any kind of overnight results, and our agency clients are actually better than the direct client because they understand as how SEO works, so they know what they need to order. So they order something specific from us, a la carte or something uh, they already know they need, and we just do them, and they take care of the rest of the part. They handle the client facing stuff, they handle the client like monthly reporting and all that stuff that comes with onboarding a client, which we don't want to do ourselves. So for me, the experience has been good because we are able to set the right expectations from the beginning. We have a very clear list of deliverables that we do, and most agency owners just prefer to order a la carte stuff,
okay.
and they just take care of the rest of the part themselves.
So you're doing when people okay, just for anybody that doesn't know, a la carte means like they might order some links or they might order some content or they might order some of this or that as opposed to an entire package. That's for anybody that may not be familiar with that term. So how do I put this? Do you so you say you get actually more like people ordering a la carte than you do like managed SEO?
Yep, that is true. We have more agency owners ordering. They order fairly regularly, and they order on a consistent basis, but they order a la carte stuff instead of fully managed service. Like most of it, we do have some managed client, but we prefer to just I myself prefer to take on a la carte stuff
Me
because
too.
it doesn't come with the rest of the
Responsibility.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So when you say partnerships, do you mean let's talk about partnerships because that was kind of the theme of this. Now, do you mean business partners or do you mean like white label partners or just talk to us about partnership in general and we'll go from there.
uh, I think when I say partnerships, I am referring to finding people that that are that have a different set of skill sets than you have, so you complement each other. So I'm not talking traditional partnership where you sign a contract and you give equity to someone. I'm talking finding collaborations avenues where you find the common grounds with other agency owners. So let's say for me, I prefer working with agency owners that are very good at for client facing stuff. They are very good at client acquisition, and they can handle the project management kind of stuff, and we are very good at operation side, so we handle everything. We have great SOPs in place and systems in place, so we make sure that the work that we deliver is of top notch quality. But the partners that we I prefer to work with are people that understand marketing very well, and they understand they don't want to build in-house SEO team. They don't want to train, or they don't want to hire experienced SEO, technical SEOs in-house, and they just want to either work with us or find partners that are good at that part of the business, handling that part, specific part of the business. So so partnership for me is like finding common grounds. I hope that answers your question.
Okay. So in addition to their skill set, like you want to make sure that you work with someone that's not difficult to work with, right? Like what do you look for like beyond just what they're like their skills, like what do you look for in somebody to understand if it'd be a good relationship or not?
I think I prefer to work with agency owner that understand how SEO works. I'm not looking for clients that are um, that lacks marketing understanding. They lack fundamentals understanding of how this works, and they are just out there selling, 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 and they are able to bring in clients without managing their expectation. I don't want to be somebody that is a closer in a traditional sense, like high ticket closer and the internet marketing terms that you must be familiar with. So I work with people that have a strong fundamentals, right? They understand SEO takes time in most cases, and we and it's very easy to know when you speak with someone on a first 30-minute discovery call. You can tell who is an experienced SEO, who is, but they lack the time or energy or something that they don't want to invest to. They don't want to go that route of building an in-house team and the team leaving them halfway, and which is managing people is one of the hardest part of running an agency, right?
Mhm.
So if you're running an agency and you don't know how to manage people, you need to find a partner that excel at that, and that's where I come in. So I work with people that know their weaknesses, and they also know their set of strengths. And I work with agency owners that have some experience working with other clients, not people that are out there selling something that they don't understand in. They don't have a complete grip of the concept of how it works.
So how do you go about finding them?
So I have like couple of ways that I'm most of the agency clients so that I we have right now are coming from either word of mouth, or I am in some communities where I actually we participate in. I add value. I answer their questions. Other agency owners are there. They are posting something that they need help with, and I'm out there not very actively, but to some extent I invest some time in community in those community, and be the person that they can rely and trust on. I'm not out there selling things myself. I'm out there to build relationships and find that's how I'm able to close other agency owners. There are many agency communities. You have an amazing group on Facebook. There are many other Facebook groups like AHS have a very good HF Insider or other competitors, or tools have groups. Then there are Slack communities out there like Traffic Think Tank, the Blueprint community by Ryan. There are like tons and tons of communities out there. And if you're out there and you're out there creating content for those specific people, or if you're answering their question, it's easier to just build a relationship with them. And then if they find you valuable, they'll connect with you and ask you for help with something that they're struggling with as a client as well. So that's how I'm able to bring in clients.
Wonderful. Now you mentioned how the biggest challenge is managing people, and I assume from the your position in all of this that you're good at that. So can you give us some insight on how to go about managing people, get the most out of them to get the most results for your clients, and so on?
uh, so we for me, I like to it took me it took me a while to find people that are passionate about SEO or doing marketing for other clients. But the team that I built, I trained them from scratch. It was very hard. I made a lot of mistakes. The only way I was able to be a little bit good than as compared to someone that is not good at that is like I was able to make all the mistakes that are out there. So I hired a lot of experienced SEOs out there with 5 years experience, 7 years experience, and it was very difficult to work with them because they are already set in their own ways. So when you create a new let's say SOP and you want them to follow that, it's very hard for them to just follow it. And what I do is I hire interns, I train them from scratch, I help them see, I mentor them. We have some side projects where we are trying to like, this is more of an experiment than something that we want to make money in. Like it's not very monetized, but it helps us, my team, they practice on those specific side projects, and once I see that they are getting good, then we start to roll them into clients work. So it took me a while, but I was able to. I was lucky to find some really amazing people, and same for content. I have a slightly different approach. I don't hire someone with content which doesn't speak the native English language, because it's a language barrier, and I want to make sure that the content that is being created they understand, and they I hire like one of the growth hacks that I was able to find is I hire like digital nomads. So people that are looking to make some money while traveling. American, I have a UK based, UK born native English writer in my team. I have US born native English writer in my team. They love to travel and they want to make money while traveling, so they are looking for something, an online income. I train them sometimes. Sometimes they do have some extent of knowledge in content marketing, and we they start with our side project, and then we start to roll them into our. So it's a trial and error, but I was able to find people that uh, finding like it's the same with finding clients. Like you want to see the gaps in the market and see what they want to achieve in terms of their career growth, and you want to offer something that they want. So we work with digital nomads for content side and for technical SEO or that sort of thing, or traditional SEO, on page SEO. We train them from scratch and then we roll them into clients work. So and yeah once you coach someone or hire an intern and coach them and mentor them, and they once they become are able to do like decent level skill, they respect you as a mentor, which is a plus point. So they want to stick with you for to work on a long term scale as well. So that is why I prefer working with someone that is in training, but it takes a lot of time. Obviously it's not perfect, and i'm
Yeah.
i'm still learning myself. I have a very long way to go, so it's not all figured it out at this moment, but I'm learning, and I'm hoping that with time I'll be able to be, get very good at managing people part or
Oh,
working with other people part. Yeah.
okay. Oh, you mentioned SOPs several times. How do you go about building those out, improving them over time? Like, how do you give them to people and make sure they can do them? Just talk about your SOP for SOPs, I guess, if you would.
Yeah. So SOPs for people that don't understand is like standard of procedures, and it's all the great companies have them. It's one of the things that I became very serious 3 4 years ago, because I wanted to have clearly defined protocols of everything that we do in terms of running an operations. So let's say if someone orders a technical audit, we already have a complete process laid out in Google Doc with a Loom video and a complete step by step guide on how to do it. Same with content briefs, same with keyword cap or keyword analysis, or same with comparative analysis. We have a very detailed process of how to do them and what to expect at the end. We have a sample work. So so my point is, each agency that have clearly defined systems and SOPs in place, they are able to scale rapidly, and they're not doing too much of custom work where each client comes in and you have to do everything from scratch for them. It's not an ideal way to operate any business. You go to a McDonald or you go to a KFC or any fast food chain, and they have everything predefined. Like they are going to put these many chips or these many pickles in the burger for so they know what they are. They have a complete layout planned before you and you order something and you get it in a timely way. So that's the same way an agency should operate. And the way I build is I keep it simple. I don't try to overcomplicate it. I have a Google Docs, anything that we do repeatedly. So if a client orders too many content briefs, and I wanna I don't I want to have someone that can do them. I create a Google Doc with step by step instructions on how to do it, I create a Loom video of me, or if I'm able to find something better out there with a video, a YouTube video that is explaining the process better, I just link them that in, and that is your recipe. It doesn't have to be super complicated. The more you complicate, the more project management tools that you want to put in there, the more harder it becomes to manage it. So I keep things. I follow the principle called KISS, which is like keep it simple, stupid.
Mhm.
By But the office fans will get
Yeah.
the so keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Anything that you do repeatedly, just create an SOP. And if you want to change something, you can just go in. If anything that changed with Google, you can just go in and replace those part with the new information. And that's about it. That's how we operate, and that's how we are able to scale, because anything that comes in, we know how we are going to do it, and we don't start from scratch for each order that comes in. We already have templates of everything that we do repeatedly, and we just go in and customize them based on the client needs, or whatever the client orders.
Right. You mentioned that McDonald's thing. That's absolutely true. I worked at McDonald's when I was a teenager, and I remember they had these like, I mean, it's probably computerized now, but because I'm old, but they had these books that you had to read, and I remember some of the instructions on them were for a cheeseburger, you were supposed to put the amount of onions that's the size of two quarters stacked on top of each other, and two pickles that were not touching, but were also not touching the edge of the bun. And like
Wow.
they got that detailed with how you were supposed to do it, because
Yeah.
the people expect to get the same thing every time. So that's I've never thought of that before, but that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
watched a movie, The Founder.
great
Uh,
movie.
I love that movie. It's one of my favorite entrepreneurial movie, and I got an inspiration from the Ray Kroc and the guy, that how they were able to focus on each and every part. The way they planned the kitchen, and they created their own custom tools. And
Yeah. Yeah, they still had those when I worked there in the 90s. Like they had a
wow,
ketchup dispenser that was kind of like an upside down gun, where you
yeah,
would like press. And I probably just got demonetized for saying gun, but you would press the handle, and then a certain amount of ketchup would come out, and it'd be in the right shape that they wanted it in on the bun too. And yeah,
yeah,
that movie's great. There's that one scene where they're like practicing it on the basketball court that I think is just brilliant, because he like
yep,
draws out where the stove will be and everything. Apparently,
yeah,
that really happens too. So
yep, yeah.
yeah,
That did happen, and yeah, that was one of the lessons for me as well. Like we need to plan everything accordingly. I used to do custom work, a lot of it, and it used to suck. I didn't want to do it. So yeah.
all right. So I'm going to ask some. We're going to take some questions, and then
Mhm.
we'll talk about SEO a little bit after that. What were your biggest challenges when you first began with your agency?
That's a great question. I think that running an agency is one of the, again, it's one of the most difficult business. I think when you start, you don't know what you don't know, and I had a very hard time. So one of the issues was we were doing a lot of custom work for clients. Everything that needed to be done for each client, I wanted to create custom presentations. I wanted to add something that is truly unique to them. I wanted to make it very, very special for each client, which was great for, maybe it didn't create a huge impact in terms of actual results, but it was, but the client received a lot of overwhelming data and a lot of overwhelming stuff, and were like, they were impressed initially, but then I realized that it's not serving my clients in the best. That's not the best use of my time either. So I need to do things that bring in the results. And when you're doing SEO, you need to bring in results. That's the most important thing. Clients don't care for pretty presentation. They don't care for pretty proposal, but they do care about bringing their phone, or bringing in leads or sales, whatever the end goal is. So I think one of the challenges was to, instead of doing custom, how to be able to serve my client, each client with the right kind of work, while not overdoing the presentation part. So that was one. Hiring is one of the major challenge that a lot of agency owners feel. They feel burned out because finding the right people that want to grow with you for a long time, not a long period of time, is very very hard. People leave you, people do all kind of shady stuff. Even if you have all the contracts in place, they try to reach out to your clients and try to hire make direct connections. Same might happen, like, just for the sake of example, there happen with might happen with the legit as well, or any
Mm.
third party like a marketplace where the freelancers try to make a connection with the end client directly, try to cut off the and that happens with agency owners as well. When you're hiring, you need to make sure that you hire for the right attitude, and skills can be taught. You can train them with anything as long as they have the right attitude, and you can trust them, which is very important. As long as you can trust them and they have a attitude of learning and not know it all, and then hiring is one of the key areas. And one of the, like, agents, great agencies have great people. That's what it's come down to. All the big agencies that you see out there, McKinsey's and big agencies with like hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. They all have great. They focus great on hiring, and they have great talent in them. And that's one of the things you don't want to cheap out on. You want to pay them well. And when starting out, agency want to make the mistake of hiring the cheapest one out there. But as the saying goes, you get what you paid for. So you need to make sure that you are paying them well, and they are looking to work with you for the long term. So you don't want to invest too much time and end up being they joining something another company. Um, is Should I go on? There are like, or is that helpful?
Yeah, I think that was a great answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next question. Well, first of all, she says, I believe SOPs are important as well.
Mhm.
Are you currently automating and using AI in your SOPs? I'll add to that. Are you using AI at all? And if so, how?
We are using AI for not automating the like the complete content part. So let's speak about content creation. This is where the most of the AI comes in. Like, a lot of AI tools that say that you don't need content writers or content editors. What we are doing is we are offering two different content writing plans for our clients. One is 100% manually written content, and then another is AI assisted human written content. So what that AI assisted part is, they use AI tools, but the end result is not gonna be a like a generic piece that you're seeing with tons and tons of websites that are creating out there, like the spam, with it, there's just using one click AI and expecting that content is going to outrank manually written, properly written, high quality content. I don't agree with that. So if even if you are using AI, you have to be smart with that. You have to have a proper plan, and we have editors that knows the AI's limitation, so they use it for ideas generation part or getting some inspiration part, but they do most of the heavy lifting themselves. They do the on page themselves. So there are many AI tools, and AI is going to be very very effective, and we have to embrace that. But at the same time, we can't rely 100% on AI yet for the main part of SEO. So you still have to use your brain. You still have to plan all the architecture of the website. So yeah, I'm hoping that we don't get replaced with the AI, but right now, you can use AI tools to complement your skill set, but it's not there to replace you. And I think, in my opinion, AI will be a great asset in terms of um, like being able to do stuff that us humans don't like. to do, but we still will be utilizing them as a tool. They will not be able to completely remove them in the near future. I'm not sure what will happen after 5 years or 10, but in the near future, I see that we will be able to uh, work with them to use them for our benefit.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Joseph says, I love the KISS method. I totally agree on that. Magic Wands says, I always question why when I always question this fact. Why? Oh, okay. I always question this fact. Why agency owners don't partner with businesses since everyone needs marketing. I've been asked to do that in the past and I've always passed on it. You ever done that? Like actual equity in businesses? And
I haven't done it. I just got off a call before we had a meeting. I had a prospect that wanted to become an actual partner, but the thing is, managing an actual partnership, the traditional partnership with equity, and it's a lot of work. It's and there are so many expectations with each partner, and there are so many agreements in the start, but with time that become disagreements, and it's just like a marriage or a dating stuff. When you're dating, when you're starting to date someone new, you focus on all the good parts of their characteristics, and you kind of ignore their bad part. But with time, you start to focus on their bad characteristics more than the good part, so it becomes ugly. And then that's why we have 50% divorce rate in the US, right? So it's common all over the world. So for partnership to work, it's very hard for long term. So I don't do it in a traditional sense, but I do it in a more, I see it, as I've mentioned it earlier, I treat partnership in a different way than a regional partner would see.
there are some other downsides to that are, in my
Yeah,
experience, when someone wants you to, at least for agencies, not so much for every type of business, but if
yeah,
somebody wants you to be their partner, it means that they don't want to pay you. That's been my experience, is that they can't afford to pay you, but they
yeah,
still want what you do. So their way of doing that is to give you equity. And then the other problem with that model, in my opinion, is that you then become responsible for the whole thing. So like even if you do your job and you do the marketing well, if they can't close sales, then you're not going to make any money. So then, and if you want to make money on this deal, then you have to get involved in sales, and you may not want to. And even though on paper you're only responsible for one thing, you become responsible for everything. You know, if they go out and blow the company's budget on cocaine and prostitutes or something,
yeah.
that's still on you. You know what I
I
mean? So to me, I don't want the responsibility, but it also means usually, and it's just it's anecdotal, but it usually means they can't afford to pay you. At least that's been my experience. So
I kind of agree. Most people that reach out to me for traditional partnership, yeah, they would want to, that's the same with the clients as well. They want to pay you with some sort of like
results
equity
based.
and
Yeah.
the result base, and they don't want to pay anything upfront.
Yep.
Those are the terrible kind of clients, or those will be the terrible kind of partners. So you shouldn't do it, in my
Yep.
opinion, either. Yeah, so I agree.
All right. How do you manage client expectations and maintain client satisfaction, particularly when they are dissatisfied due to slower than expected results? Let me frame that a different way. How do you set up when you bring someone on? What expectation do you set? And is it results? Is it just you'll get these tasks? Like, and if for some reason that doesn't happen, how do you explain it to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the reasons that we focus more on white labeling with agencies, other agencies, is we don't want to go on that route of like priming or nurturing the prospect into expectation, setting the expectations and everything else. We have great case studies. Some of them on our website. We have in Google Docs. We have great sample work. We have like literally tons and tons of social proof and testimonials from many agency owners. So when we work with other agency owners, we specifically tell them that we will not be promising you any kind of results. We have a great track record. You can see our testimonials, you can see our company profile, you can see our case studies, you can see our overall how we operate, our sample work, how it will look like at the end, but will not be responsible for results. That's your job. So when you're working with other agency owners, they should be able to set the expectations right with with their clients, and that is their problem. That is not ours. When in most cases, I haven't run into this problem, because when you take care of the fundamentals in most low competitive industries, you get to see results, especially in local SEO. You see results like in few weeks. So and even if you do the fundamentals right, you don't have to be genius SEO to bring in results, in my opinion, as most great SEO would like to claim. But like, if you take care of the fundamentals, if everything is properly done, you can bring in results, and you will not run into problem of mismanaged expectations. But if you are new and you don't know how to set expectations, you shouldn't be selling SEO. You should be ranking your own website or that sort of stuff. I started by doing I ranking my own websites, and I think that's one of the best way. It's like scratching your own itch. First you do it for yourself, and then once you get good at it, then you can start selling it, right? So instead of yeah, that would be my answer. So
So what I do is I list when I for like managed SEO, white label SEO. I list out in exactly what I do, how many of these I do, how many of that I do, and then I make it clear to them that this is my process. It's up to you to decide if this is going to work and get results. That's kind of your job, is to know what you need to get results. You're just paying us to do the work. If you want an actual strategy, you're going to have to pay a lot more for that. Not that it's not a strategy, but it's not as repeatable of a strategy. So that's kind of the same thing I think we're saying. So you now let's talk about SEO a little bit. You mentioned local SEO. So do you do what do you offer SEO wise? So do you do organic maps, both, neither? Like what's your where do you guys were focus on?
so we have more national SEO clients than the local SEO one, but I found that bringing in results for local SEO is far more easier than ranking for national keywords, which is kind of a given. So we again, our process is very productized. Just people, agency owner reaching out to me or my team to ordering some sort of specific work. We do content briefs, we do content, we do keyword gap analysis, keyword research, content audit, all those migrations. We handle migrations. We have done a lot of complex migration as well, and we have handled like a lot of worst cases. And in my doing an SEO migration, let's say it's very easier to not hire an SEO and just rely on developer, and it's a very common mistake among clients, where they just hire a developer and expect them to know SEO. They don't do any URL mapping, and they just don't take care of the redirects properly, and then they create the new website live without any proper SEO plan, and all they end up losing like 80 to 90% of the traffic overnight. And then they come rushing to us that we need to be able to like resolve that. So it's we are very specific. We take care of very specific part of SEO, uh, and we focus on my focus is to just get that repeatable from clients. So client, if they love the work that we do one time, they can just order it again and again. And I rely on my agency rely on repeatable work in a small chunk, instead of like charging them a fixed high ticket monthly retainer for the long term. That's what we mainly focus on. And we do like for local SEO, we create localized landing pages, we create location pages, practice areas. If they are like a medical practitioner or a lawyer, we are working with few lawyers, and we create those specific landing pages. And for local SEO, if the competition isn't too high, it's fairly easy. Even if it's high, if you're doing the right kind, if you're building the right kind of pages, and your focus is not just creating blog posts, and you're also focusing on creating the right location that they operate in with proper on page, and you are creating a lot of the right kind of internal linking, and you're making sure their website structure is correct. And they're sometimes when you build a new website and a developer with no SEO knowledge, they place no index tag, which end up causing a lot of pain to end client. So you so as long as the structure and basic fundamentals are right, and you're doing making the pages that should be there, I think SEO is fairly straightforward, and that's about it. Yeah, that's what we
So
focus on.
you've mentioned content a bunch and like site structure and stuff like that. Do you guys sell linking also, or do you do that? Not do that?
We have some partners that we work with for link building. We don't have in-house link building team because again we like to do stuff that we can control, and link building is something, if done properly without shady PBNs, if done like a digital PR kind of thing, it takes a lot of time to get links placed. So we work with we work with people like we hire people on Legit. We hire like we work with partners that have a good track record of doing that part properly, and then we take care of the other part in house.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty uncommon in my experience for white label agencies, because
Mhm.
most of them that focus more on link building. So you kind of have a unique
Different.
position in the market that way, right?
Yeah, we tell upfront that we don't do in-house link building because in my experience it hasn't been it takes a lot of time to create to get the right kind of links. So I do stuff that we can control the quality of, and I can commit to like we can do this in these many days and you'll get the work and that sort of things. We are focusing on technical SEO, we are focusing on content, and we are focusing on more on migrations, handling migrations, and handling CMS or rebranding or domain change. So that sort of things, than focusing on link building.
Okay. That's that. But I mean, don't you find that to be uncommon? Like most white label agencies focus more on link building, or is that, or do you not agree?
I think most agencies focus on link building. Which is one of the differentiator. If
Yeah.
everyone is doing it, you shouldn't be doing it. And it's easier to find the right link building agencies out there than to find the right technical SEO partner or right content partner. In my opinion, that's why we are more focusing on that. I agree with you
Yeah.
that most white label agencies focus on doing link building, and it's easier to us that we are not competing with most white label agencies that are out there.
Now, I remember in the first conversation I had with you, probably 2 years ago, give or
Yeah.
take. I remember we talked a lot about content briefs. Can you talk about what goes into writing a good brief? Because not only does it have to like work to create good content, but it has to be something that a writer can understand. And I've struggled with that a bit. So, can you talk about what goes into a good content brief? And can you tell people who may not know what a content brief actually is?
Yeah, of course. So content brief is a content outline or a content guideline for the actual, let's say, blog or a content piece before it gets written by the writer. And this is an additional layer of when doing a content marketing right. You need to make sure that the content that you're creating is written like hitting all the right angles, and in most cases when you hire a writer and you just give them H1, and if they are not subject matter expert, which is very hard to find out there, an actual writer with a matter expertise, um, you end up with a very generic like a combination of top 5 results that are out there in Google, and you create a mixture of that instead of creating a unique piece that Google and the people that reading it find as a genuine content piece. So the content briefs is an extra layer which helps with creating content that that answer that specific needs of the writer. So if even if the writer is not a subject matter expert and he's a decent writer and he knows how to do the research and he knows how to write, he'll able to take that brief and just follow it step by step. uh, and content brief will contain all the on page factors, how many internal links should be there, what's the ideal work like word count should be, how many images, or in most cases when if we do content briefs we add those images in them. And it's far easier to explain via showing it. I'm not sure if I can share my screen, but
Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you click in the ribbon there at the bottom, click present,
Okay,
and
and
then I'll add it to the screen.
okay, I have too many files, so Chrome tab, entire screen. Okay, perfect. Can you see my screen? All right.
We can, but you need, yeah, we can see your screen.
All right, I'm gonna open a new window if that makes it easier. Let me just put the right charger in before my laptop dies down.
All right, 1 second.
Yeah. Okay. Can you guys still see my screen? The new
Yep.
window that. All right. So if I open my, let's say, sample work and content briefs, and if I open it, as you can see, so this is a copyright content brief for a copywriter. So we have all the guidelines, H1. This serves as an SOP as well in itself as well. Like read the technical guidelines here. We have a separate guidelines here for the copywriter, what to proceed, what to create. Then we have about the client, then understand who the target audience is, and then we have a document that explains who the target audience is. As you can see, this is the target audience, and we have a created a separate piece of that. Then we have details for authors, and so this is a general guideline. And then we have an on-page factors here, like how many word count should be, what's the company name, about the company, and then we have an attached blog writing SOP that is attached above. Then we have a voice. What should be the voice of the content? Who is the target audience? What's the required reading level? And we explain that to writers so they can know what's the minimum quality threshold, which is again very important. And when you see the copywriting guideline, the writer can understand how this works. Then there is a blog post type, content tactic, and page title, which is very important. And the target keyword should match with H1 standard on-page SEO stuff. Then the content brief have a meta description. This is the preferred URL structure that should be in place. This then the main keywords. Then there are subheadings that comes after that, and then we attach a phrase report or clear scope report or any third party like Surfer SEO report with the client as well at the end as well. I'll show you in a second. So these are the secondary keywords, and then semantic keywords, what to include. Then these are the internal links, which internal links should be linked in this. And these are done by properly researching each keyword, the H1, and then the competitors, and then the client website, and understanding what they need to like shine and then excel at creating content. Then there are sources here, what sort of sources they could use in the content, and then additional comments, and then the end actual outline starts. So H1, and then the brief writer has told writer how to write the H1 and what should cover, what areas should it cover, then H2, and then H3. So it has a complete structure of an article or how it should look like. And a decent writer can just come in and they can just fill in the blank, and they can create a very awesome piece of content that's gonna not only uh, be great for Google, but also for the end you writer and reader to be able to read it properly. And then there is a conclusion, and then there are CTAs, how to CTAs, and then we have a actual content in that is done by the writer. So they just created the content within this document, and they made sure that everything is properly followed with all the images, sources, and everything else. Is that helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't realize it was that in depth.
Yeah,
Just a lot
it's
of information. Do you
yeah.
use anything like Market Muse or anything like that, or is it all manual?
We do use clear scope, sometimes phrase. We have to access to surfer SEO depending on the what the client prefers. We use something that they prefer. We most of the time we use clear scope. It's an excellent
Yeah.
tool, and it gives us a lot of details that should be covering each area. How do I escape cancel?
So you're done. You don't want to show the screen anymore.
Yeah, I can go on on if it's up to you, man. I can share other briefs. This is
Oh,
a
no,
sample.
I mean, I wasn't sure what you were asking me. Is all.
Yeah, I was asking like how to like exit. Yeah, I think I should just come
Like
to
that.
the yeah. So this is another, like you were asking, like how do I set expectations? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have like I was showing the screen that we have all the sample work laid out, uh, and then we have like testimonials here from clients. I'm not gonna play it anything, but I'm just mentioning that we have everything laid out uh, here, and then we have some stuff on the website as well. So yeah, that's
Wonderful.
yeah. So when a client wants to work with us, they can just check out our testimonials and uh, like like they can make a decision for themselves if we are the right fit for them or not.
Fantastic. All right. We are actually out of time.
Oh
It's been an hour already. Unless you had something else you wanted to get into.
no, I think I'm good. I'm done in terms of sharing my screen. Yeah.
Okay. Well, where if people want to get in touch with you or learn more about what you do, where should they go?
They can check out my LinkedIn or Facebook. Just type my name or my agency name. I'll pop up. They can schedule a call on my website, lazymetrics.com. They can just reach out to me on LinkedIn or via email. It's umair@lazymetrics.com. Whatever, there are multiple ways to reach out to me. I'm very searchable. Just Google my name and you'll be able to find me. Yeah.
Wonderful. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I know it's late for you. I appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us today.
All right.
Actually, what time is it for you?
It's 12 a.m. in the night. So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I work in the PST time zone. I'm in Turkey, but
I see.
I work in the Pacific Standard Time zone, so it's not too late for me.
Gotcha. All right, my friend. Thanks for taking the time to just talk to us today. I appreciate it. People can find you on LinkedIn and on Facebook and on your website, lazymetrics.com. Let me just get a second here. Please, everybody, thank Umar for Umair. God, I can't get that right to save my life. For joining us today. In just a second, I'm going to give you a programming update as soon as I can, find it.
Yeah.
And then, okay. So next week on the 14th, I have Caleb Oku, who has a 7-figure agency, and there's a testimonial for him on this channel. And then on the 16th, I have Derek Pierce, who's been around SEO for a long time. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you all for taking the time to join us today. I know you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you spent an hour with us. That's something I will never take for granted, and I will always appreciate. So thank you for that. And last but not least, figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to the world. I'll see you again soon. Peace.